Hello, good evening everyone watching this. So it's been a while since we've had some updates on what we're doing at Wonderland Pier and what's going on with The Man and Dog Bringing Back the 90s Part 3, and there have been a lot of updates going on. But before we get into all that and the Actors 317 stuff and what's going on with the channel and all that, I just want to ask for all of you out there, if you could please send us your prayers. Not to say anything bad is going on, but there's just been a lot of changes going on in our lives and a lot of obstacles we have to overcome just to get this movie out to you guys. And also, some days we do get a good load of work done, but other days it's hard. It can be tough. We have obstacles in the way. As you all know, in life, stuff comes at you and you got to deal with it. But if we could ask for your prayers to pray for us through this time, that would be fantastic. We really appreciate it. So I kind of had this idea a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this way, but then finally I just thought, you know what, it kind of makes sense to do it this way. So we're going to change it up a little bit. And I don't know if you're going to like this idea or not, but we are doing it this way. This is how it's going to go. Ian and Alex know about this. That's about it. I haven't told anybody else that's helping us with the production. But so when it comes to Bringing Back the 90s Part 3, what we are doing here is, for those who don't know, we also had another movie related to Wonderland coming up later this Christmas called Wonderland 3. Now, Dan McDermott, who is my friend, my partner in this whole Wonderland movie trilogy or video Man and Dog series, whatever you want to call it, Dan has been involved in, I think, almost every single Man and Dog video. Almost every single one. And he was there with me at the beginning when we started all this. In fact, he was there with me before we started doing the YouTube thing, because in the beginning we were just doing the Wonderland movies. We did the first Wonderland movie 10 years ago, actually. Right around this time, 10 years ago is when we started doing it. And also 10 years ago, we started bringing back the 90s. So we did both those projects at the same time, which was in 2014, early 2015. And so it's been 10 years. And then in 2018, Dan and I got together. We did Wonderland 2. And there have been pieces of Wonderland 1 and 2 that have been out for a while. Certain bits and pieces in certain videos, like the Man and Dog 30th anniversary, Donovan and I are in the car's out of control. That was a scene from Wonderland 2. A lot of interviews and stuff that you've seen in the Man and Dog videos over the years are from the first Wonderland movie and the second one. We can't release those movies intact, but we can release certain bits of it, and really you're not missing much. I mean, it would be great to show both of them, but it is what it is, just because of the situation that we're in. However, ever since we wrapped up Wonderland 2, there wasn't a thought of doing a third Wonderland movie, but it's always been in limbo. It's kind of like, you know how Ghostbusters 3 was in limbo for decades? Well, that's Wonderland 3, and it's been crazy. I'll have an idea and I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do. But I did always have this idea. I knew how it was going to start and I knew how it was going to end. I didn't have the middle. And I didn't really have a story. I didn't know, because it was kind of weird for me, because the first film was a documentary about Wonderland. The second film was a narrative story with a script of the success that Dan and I have after the documentary was released. So in essence, it's like the sequel was based off of the success of the documentary, which was the first film. Kind of like Blair Witch. The Blair Witch Project was a documentary. Blair Witch 2, as horrible as it is, it was made because of the success of the first film. And I like that idea, how it ties in as a sequel. That was a good idea. And then I thought, well, if we did a third film, that would be the last one. We're not going to make Wonderland 4, 5, 6, we're not going to do that. No, we're going to do a third one and that's it. And I knew how it was going to end, because it was going to tie all three films together perfectly. But I never had an idea for what we could do for the film until last year, when I thought, well, let's make it a Christmas movie. Let's do that. And we started shooting in January. I don't know if you're aware. We started shooting in January of 2024. Some shots of the pier covered in snow, and we got some amazing shots. It's unbelievable. It looks so good. And I kind of had this story going around, but I kept thinking, no, I don't think that's going to work. It doesn't really tie into the other two movies. It's not working. And then I started thinking about bringing back the 90s Part 3 and what we're doing with that. And I thought, you know what? We were going to make 2 Wonderland movies. Why don't we just combine the 2 and make it one movie? Because the more I think about it, the more I realize what we're doing with bringing back the 90s Part 3, yes, we're working on The Man and Dog. Yes, we're bringing more 90s stuff back. But we're also bringing back stuff in Wonderland Pier. And so, and I remember, I was talking to Butter003 about this because he's helping us out a little bit. And he was saying, if you're going to do Part 3, can you try to have it be like Part 1 and Part 2 for bringing back the 90s? And I thought, we were going to make Wonderland 3 this year anyway. Why don't we... And then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, wait a second, I have a storyline now, because this would make sense with the other 2 films. Why don't we have the plot of Wonderland 3? Because I always had the beginning and the ending in mind, and this would pair up perfectly. What if Wonderland 3 was Dan and myself with our crew making the third Bringing Back the 90s with The Man and Dog? Because the first Wonderland movie didn't really talk about The Man and Dog. We had a little bit in there, but it was mainly on the rides. It was about the history. It was about how the building got built and, where the ideas came from. And the second one had a few Man and Dog jokes in there, but it was mostly about the pier and the chaos of being a maintenance man and, everything. But it was a comedy, it was a situation comedy movie. It wasn't real. It was made up. It was mostly played for laughs. I mean, if you've seen the bridge scene with the car, with Dan's car going out of control, with Donovan and I driving, you know what kind of movie it was. And so the third one, I kind of like this idea, and with the footage that we had for Bringing Back the 90s Part 3, I really like how this could tie into Wonderland 3. So what we're going to do is, we are doing Bringing Back the 90s Part 3, but it's going to be within the film Wonderland 3. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be releasing Wonderland 3 this July. Yes, this July, not Christmas time, this July. And it's going to be us making a Bringing Back the 90s sequel, in a way. Like a movie within a movie. That's what it's going to be. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but when Curb Your Enthusiasm did the Seinfeld reunion, they didn't do a Seinfeld reunion. They did a Seinfeld reunion within a Curb Your Enthusiasm season. Okay, that's essentially what we're doing here. So technically there will be a third Bringing Back the 90s, but it's going to be included within Wonderland 3. And trust me, once I got this idea a couple of weeks ago, I started thinking about it. I started looking at the footage and what we were going to do with Wonderland 3 and with what we're doing with Part 3 with Bringing Back the 90s. It kind of makes sense. It makes sense. And I think it's a great idea. I got all these good ideas of what we could do. There's a few scenes we're going to have to shoot to tie it together, but I do think it's going to be fantastic, and you guys are not going to be disappointed. So it's going to be really good, and we do have a lot of stuff in here because, and a lot of things we were going to release in Bringing Back the 90s Part 3 was going to be from the Wonderland movies anyway, and we were going to include it into Wonderland 3. So it's like, why make 2 films when we can just make one movie? It's a lot easier, and it's basically the same movie. It's just one's about the Man and Dog and the other's about the pier. Well, we're doing 20 different projects for Part 3 anyway. Why don't we just make Wonderland 3 and throw everything in there? And it'll work. And I looked over how it's going to be layered out, and it makes sense. It looks really good, and it's got a good... it's got a good ending feel to it, you know? Now, this isn't to say this is going to be the last Man and Dog video, but it would make sense when it comes to the Wonderland trilogy, and I really like this idea because I've been struggling trying to come up with an idea for for the third Wonderland movie, because I never had a good idea for the basis of what it could be. Because originally it was going to be all the leftover stuff from the interviews that we shot for the first film that didn't make it into the first movie, and we were just going to release it here. But, you know, some of that stuff we can't really release anyway, so it wouldn't have made a good movie. And, you know, I talk about the Wonderland trilogy now a lot, and it stinks that we can't show these films to people, so we can only show clips. But now we're in a position where we can show one of the Wonderland movies, and this is going to be really, really good. I think it's going to be great. So that's the big update I wanted to tell you. So we are still doing Bringing Back the 90s Part 3. We're doing Wonderland 3. We're just combining both films into one movie. Still coming out in July. So we're going to try to make it come out on July 18th. We are going to do that. Now, what does that mean for all the Christmas stuff that we shot for Wonderland 3? Well, you know, number one rule of filmmaking, you never fall in love with your footage. I get it. Never fall in love with it. If we find a spot for it in this movie, we will use it. And if we don't, we'll save it. Maybe we could use it for 7.0 or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. But, you know, let's see what happens. But I really like this idea, and I have a great idea for you know, and it makes sense between, like, with the second Wonderland movie leading into the third film, and it's all makes sense. It's just so good. I'm really excited about this idea. And, you know, as far as everything else goes, for those of you who don't know, okay, so basically that's what we're doing with Part 3. I should really call it Part 3, because we were doing Wonderland 3 and Bringing Back the 90s Part 3. They're both three-parters. Put them in one movie, okay? Make it easy on ourselves. So that's what we're doing. Now, for those who have been coming by the pier, because I know some of you have not yet, considering it's still early May, so a lot of you aren't down yet. We have not had the Man and Dog open to the public at all yet. Because, well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're still filming it. We're still working on the projects. And we have like 20 other projects going on, and it's a mess up there, you guys. It is an absolute mess. And it's good because the monorail's closed at the moment, so it leaves me room to leave all the stuff out instead of cleaning up all the time. And some of you that have been up there and seen the process of what we're doing, you understand what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you will see it in the film. There's a lot of stuff all over the place. I mean, you can barely walk up there. It's pretty crazy. But as far as that goes, we're working on a lot of things. If you've seen the trailers for Part 3, you know what we're working on. There are some things we kept quiet that we don't want people to know until the movie comes out in July, but we're 2.5 months away. We should have all of the stuff filmed, at least for Bringing Back the 90s section filmed, before Memorial Day weekend. We're going to try to do that because we're in a position now where we're painting stuff. We have the stuff on the animatronics pretty much there, but now we're working in like painting, sanding stuff down, cleaning stuff up, all that. That's where we are now. And then song sequences. We're going to do a couple of those. So, and we want to try to get it done before Memorial Day weekend. So we got like 3 weeks, you know, to shoot all this, and we should be able to. And then Dan McDermott, he's going to be coming over. He's actually in quite a chunk of this film, like, so we have a lot of him in this movie, which is fantastic. Because I was always going to call Dan back for Wonderland 3 regardless, so I'm really happy that we can do this, and it just works so much better than I thought it was going to. It's not just another Bringing Back the 90s video. It's like, it's everything. It's a Wonderland sequel. It's got Bringing Back the 90s in it. It's got new characters. It's got old characters. It's got interviews in it that we've never shown before. We're going to have scenes in this film that we can show. There's going to be some comedy in it. It's going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a huge summer film, and comes out right in the middle of July, so you're going to love it. So that's where we are with the Man and Dog videos. Now, as far as merchandise goes, we do have a couple of DVDs that we're working on. We have a lot of DVDs. I have them upstairs. I keep them upstairs. So if fans ever come by the park, I just hand them out. We have a few copies of the Man and Dog Christmas DVD that we haven't sold yet. And by the way, all these DVDs are free because we give you this content for free. We want you guys to enjoy it. So we have Volume 1, which has the first 4 Christmas specials on it. I think the first one up until 4.0 is on the Volume 1. And Volume 2 DVDs, which came out last Christmas, they have Christmas at the Railway Station 5.0 and 6.0 on there. So it's like a whole DVD package. So we have a lot of them in stock. So if you guys say like, oh, I never got my Man and Dog DVD, I still want one, can I still get one? Yes, you can. We have a bunch of them left in stock, a ton of them. And I hope you guys come and get those because we're also working on getting Frontier Saga on DVD, all 15 episodes, including the commentaries. They're all going to be on DVD because I know a lot of people, some people like physical media. I know you can stream it on YouTube for free. But here's the thing, you know, copyright infringement has been taking place on some of the episodes of Frontier Saga, so some of them have been changed. But on the DVD, you'll get the original versions that we put out back in the summer, so that'll be great. So you'll get that. We're also thinking about releasing the Man and Dog 30th Anniversary on DVD. We're going to try to do that. We're also thinking about, we were thinking about releasing all 3 parts of Bringing Back the 90s on like a triple pack DVD, but now that we're including part 3 into Wonderland 3, we're still not quite sure about if we're going to do that. But the Frontier Saga DVD we're definitely going to be working on, and the 30th Anniversary we'll be working on. So those will be coming out probably sometime later this summer, maybe around July, probably right around July, I think, because right now we're still working on, like, we have stuff lined up for the DVDs, but we're trying to get part 3 filmed because once June hits, that's it. It's game over. We won't have any time to film unless we show up in the middle of the night and film, and we're not doing that. So, yeah, like time, that's what I'm saying. Like, we really need your prayers, you guys. Like, there's just so much going on, and it can be overwhelming and overbearing at times, but we love doing it, and we love that you guys enjoy it, and that you guys keep coming back, and we love it when you guys show your friends this stuff, and they love it. I mean, guys, I feel so happy every time somebody, I'll never forget, the first time I knew something was getting big with all this was, I think about 7-8 years ago, I had a woman come up to me. She had a daughter who was, I think, 6 years old, and she told me, all my daughter listens to now is John Denver because of the YouTube channel. And I'm like, I can relate to that because I remember being 6 years old, and I loved John Denver too at that time. So, but that was like the beginning of when it all started, about 7-8 years ago. So. And we've just gotten so many more comments just like that from families that have traveled all over the place. So now, when is the Man and Dog going to be open if they're closed right now? By Memorial Day weekend, we should have everything up and running. I mean, we're so close, you guys. We're so close. Right now, we have a lot of stuff we have this stuff all over the place right now upstairs. Like I said, it's a mess. You'll see what I'm talking about when you see the film. But as of right now, like, things are happening. I know we haven't been releasing much. We've taken a ton of photos and a ton of pictures and videos and everything, and we want to release it to you guys so badly, but we just want to hold off just a little bit longer. So probably around like the end of May, early June is when you'll get a trailer for Wonderland 3. Maybe, I think. Maybe sometime in June, maybe, I think. Because we just want to get this, because we have to get the projects done up there, and then we have to film it, and then we have to edit it. So it's going to be so much work, and not to mention we all have other day jobs. So it's like, because it's just, the insanity of this project is huge. This is not only the biggest Man and Dog video we've ever done, this is the biggest Wonderland sequel we've ever done. I mean, like Wonderland 2 I think was maybe a little harder because we had, it was a script. This is like part documentary, part script, but we've never done a Man and Dog video where we were doing like 20 projects in one video, and that's this one. It's huge. So that's pretty much the update that I have for you guys. I know Alex is probably going to write something about our updates, just to polish on it on APC TV on his channel. So yeah, that's about it. Hope to see you guys at Wonderland Pier. And the thing is this, if you guys do come by the pier in like the couple of weeks and the Man and Dog aren't open, just go to guest services, ask for me. I'll most likely be there, and I'll take you guys upstairs, and we'll turn them on, and I'll play the show for you. So it's not a big deal. Like, if it's because the monorail is down right now. The monorail's closed. When the monorail is closed, the Man and Dog is closed. But it's a good thing that that's happening because it gives us more time to work on what we want to be working on up there, which is great. So, yeah, but by Memorial Day weekend, we should have the Man and Dog up and running, which is really cool. And if not, hopefully we get them running before then. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on what's going on. I hope you guys enjoy this and look forward to Wonderland 3. See you guys later.